Larry Coral, welcome to the Vermillion Unplugged. How are you doing today?
Good, very good.
Great. So, if people know, and we're just talking about a little bit, Brenda, I don't want to say the last name because I don't think she wants me to, but hopefully I can get her on. But Brenda from work told me, she said, hey, you should talk to Larry Coral. I'm like, Larry Coral, he works here. He's a very interesting guy. I'm like, what does he do? Or what did he do? And she mentioned like football, really into football. And then she gave me some details, and then you also emailed me. So I wanted to ask, actually before that, what do you do?
Well, currently I am employed by the University of South Dakota. I'm the lead processor for a mail delivery system across the campus. So incoming and outgoing mail all goes through my office.
And then the big thing is, I want to talk about football. So I heard you played for USD. You're also a coach, but I wanted to know if you could take us back. Like how did that all start?
I played in junior college. I wasn't a very good high school player. Went to junior college to wrestle. Was a halfway decent wrestler in college. Football coach saw me walking the halls. I was 6'4", 270 pounds, and asked me to come on a tryout for the football team. At that time, junior college I went to, Joliet, was probably one of the top junior colleges in the United States. The team I was on, the 2 years I was there, we finished third in the nation and fifth in the nation in the rankings. So it just blossomed from there. I mean, it was the coach and I got along real well, and he was more like a father figure to me, and knew how to coach me.
Did you know anything about football before then?
Yeah, I played in high school. I didn't even start my senior year in high school. Not a great high school career in football. So I was more into wrestling. Went to the playoffs in the junior college, and it just blossomed from there, and recruited all over the United States. I was an All-American in junior college so took my recruiting trips, and this happened to be one of my last recruiting trips to Vermillion, and kind of fell in love with the place.
How'd you get into, or how does that process work from junior college to I guess USD?
Well, I played the 2 years at junior college. I was an All-American and at left tackle, and was recruited basically by all the Big Ten schools. Illinois State, flew out. I mean, I was recruited by Wyoming. I flew out there for a recruiting visit. Flew out to USC for a recruiting visit. Illinois State, Eastern Illinois, Southern Illinois, went on all them recruiting visits. Just so happened the president at the time that I came here was from my junior college. The president here was from my former junior college, and so was the track coach at the time. So there was a connection there between my head coach in junior college and a couple people here. And they called and asked me to come up. Coach Triplett called and asked me to come on a recruiting visit, and the rest is kind of history.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Was there a big change between the junior college and then the USD? Or
the skill level was a little bit better. I mean, the team I played on in junior college, there was 4 NFL players. So, we had some good players. And there was I played when I first came here, there was just awesome players, but it took me a while to, acclimate to this level. It was better than, the level I played at in junior college.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember the first day or first week of practice and everything?
I hated it.
Really?
I hated it. Talking 3-a-day practices in full pads, 6 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and then a practice in the evening, and lifting weights in between. And I mean, it's just now They're limited to so many practices. We were like, it's ridiculous the changes they've made today from when we played.
Now, I've asked a few of the people that played here and then some of the student athletes, how do they, because I never played college or nothing like that, but how did you guys balance out like practices, the games, and also the schoolwork? That's always interesting to me.
If you wanted to play, you stayed eligible. That's the thing. It's just, some people were good students, some people were good athletes, and some people were good at both. I tried to maintain my eligibility, get a degree, because that's what my mom and dad always pressed. I'm here to get a degree, not to play sports. My mom mostly, not my dad. But, it's tough. It wasn't easy, and then you're trying to, have a social life and do everything else. But it's doable.
Did also, what does it? I'm just so curious. What does it feel like when you were like playing, especially with a crowd? I think it wasn't Division I yet.
No, I played Division II. We were Division II when I played, and I coached here. We were Division II. It was different than today. The dome was packed. There wasn't an empty seat in the house. The students never left at halftime. This dome was filled until the fourth quarter. It was a little bit different atmosphere. Now it's more tailgate atmosphere, I call it.
Okay.
Back then it was different. You could barely hear inside that dome. It was a different dome. We didn't have the new seating on the sideline. We had a different roof. We had a fabric roof. I remember we had 2-a-days and 3-a-day practices before the season started, and we'd be practicing in the dome, and it'd be 100 degrees in the dome. There was no air conditioning in the dome. So it was a fabric roof. Wintertime, the roof caved in.
Really?
Yeah, one winter. My first winter here, the roof caved in. So it's a unique situation playing in the dome.
What about during away games when because I just don't know which stadiums have no dome and which ones don't.
We didn't play, and we were the only ones that had a dome at the time. In the conference. North Dakota didn't have the dome. North Dakota State didn't have the dome. All played outside. I remember a game up in North Dakota. It was 20 below zero, and we're playing on turf on outside. It's totally different. You're always playing outside up at the Jackrabbit Stadium. So we were the only ones that played inside, and we played Augie at the time. They were in our conference. They always played us at the end of the year. So they always wanted to play us the last game of the year. My 2 years here seemed like it was always nice playing when it was cold outside inside the dome.
Wow. Can you describe the experience with against SDSU? Because I know there's a rivalry. Right? There's always been a rivalry. But I heard from other people that they said back then it was way more intense than it is now.
Yeah, that's a game. Them are two games that I'll probably never forget. Are two of the games that will stick out with me. We beat them pretty easy my first year here. We were a pretty senior-laden team on offense. I think there was only 3 of us that weren't seniors on the offensive line my junior year. Everybody on the offensive line was seniors except for me, and then Jim Duggan, quarterback, was a junior. I was a junior. Joel Schwanke was a sophomore, starting tailback. And then I think we had a wide receiver. Rod Tweet was a junior or sophomore. So the offense was pretty, and our defense was stellar that year. We played some good ball games, but the senior year against the Bunnies, we played Mike Bush at quarterback. He played for SDSU, and he was a good one. He played in the NFL. We beat them 45-43 in the Dome, and I don't think one person left the Dome till the end of the game.
Did you like playing like against SDSU away or at home? Was it a completely different experience?
Totally different. I liked it at home. We had more fans at home. We played in front of. We had a good traveling fan base the years I played here. My parents lived in Illinois. I'm from Illinois originally, and they never missed an away game. They traveled to every away game we played, no matter where it was. So I always saw my parents, so that was kind of nice.
And then after a game, what did you do after a game? Is it different with everyone? Do people just?
I don't know what they do now, but what I did, we kind of relaxed after the game, and and had a couple sodas, and then we on Sunday we met again for team practice and watch films of the game, and then it's on to watching for the next practicing and planning for the next game.
Okay. See, it's just for me. It's different for me. So I never played. I guess I played with middle school football. In high school, we would go to the football games. It was over there in Texas. It's a 5A school. It's huge, and it's very intense, and it's so cool. And then you see the fans against other fans, and then you see the football players, and it's great. And then college, like here at USD, I'm like, well, these are like, it's bigger. It's almost like an NFL experience. So I'm always wondering, like, well, what happened, or what do the players do like after? Are they just like normal people? I'm guessing, yeah.
Well, you have to relax and let that game's over with. So you kind of let it sink in for 24 hours, and that's about it. And then you got to move on to the next opponent, which you have 4 or 5 days to practice for them. And you're traveling for a day. It's an away game. You're traveling the day before, or sometimes 2 days before, and you're getting ready to play every week for 11 weeks.
And then how does a person in college get to that NFL level?
I would say hard work and ability. There's a big thing. There's just not one answer to that. But a lot of work is put into NFL players. There's not, especially the NFL players these days, you're just not going to walk in and just play in college and expect to go into the NFL. Very few players are groomed that way. There is your exception, but most of the players, they're going to have to hit the weight room. They're going to have to, improve every year, show that they can improve.
Okay. One of my neighbors, a good friend of ours, his name is Ryan Mollenkamp, and I think he works at Sanford. He's a physical therapist, but he played for USD, but it was still Division II. And I asked him the same question, and I remember he said that the difference, because I would think, I guess the bigger, faster you are. He says it's not just physical; it's also like there's the difference would be like a smart player, smart player,
and knowing your playbook, knowing what to do on the field, not messing up is a big thing. I mean, nowadays you can get cut pretty easy, and NFL doesn't want players that are going to mess up. They want players that know what they're doing and can improvise on the field and adapt.
Now, who's your favorite NFL team?
I don't have a favorite NFL team.
Really?
Yeah, and everybody that knows me real well knows that. I follow college. I don't follow NFL too much.
That's also another thing. I've talked to people that, yeah, there's people that will watch NFL and there's people that watch college. And I still haven't, when I watched the NFL, I never been to like a stadium. I've always watched it live. But for like the college games, USD, I've been to it live and I'm like, whoa, these guys hit hard. So is there a big difference between like watching college football versus NFL football?
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah. There's the speed and the technique, and just the size of the players. I mean, you're going to get bigger every year. You're going to get bigger and faster, and you're going to get stronger, or you're not going to play.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that way. It's at every level. You're going to get bigger, faster, stronger.
And then also, Larry, you mentioned that you also coached, not just played, but you coached.
I started my coaching career here as a graduate assistant coach back in '89. Went down and coached in Arizona for a couple years. Went to Illinois and coached for 3 years. Came back here and coached college and high school at DWU and some high schools here. And for about 18 years, I coached.
How did you like that? All the coaching?
I liked playing better. Coaching was all right. I like to be a hands-on coach, an assistant coach. I didn't want the head coaching. I followed a couple coaches around. Mm-hmm. So I had no ambition of being a head coach. I was head coach in high school here, did all right, but I liked working with kids, and I liked hands-on work. The head coach, too many other responsibilities to be a hands-on coach.
Is it tough coaching, especially like not just for like little kids, but like
I think it is today. It's tougher today because you've got a lot more to deal with, especially with the new rules and NIL and everything else, and a lot of kids think they're NFL prospects right away today. It wasn't that way back then. I mean, we're, what do we got to do to get to the next level back then?
Mm-hmm. I remember in middle school, I played 7th, 8th grade, and I remember doing the drills, and man, it was hot. It was a hot Texas weather in August, but I remember the drills they did, and I just forgot what they call them, but you just go one-on-one. But I remember
Oklahoma.
Yeah, and I remember the coach, I forgot his name, but he would say, hey, when you guys hit someone or tackle them, hit them right here.
Ear hole.
Yeah, but I'm guessing the rule has changed now.
I mean, there's no helmet, no more helmet to helmet contact hardly, especially in tackling. That was all legal back when I played. So I've had several concussions. I can remember one concussion. I don't remember the game too much, but I remember the concussion I've had playing here. Mm-hmm. But they try to cut that out with the CTE issues now.
Okay, just trying to make everything safer.
The head issues.
Okay,
brain injuries.
And then when you were an All-American, what is? Can you explain what that is?
I was junior college. I played in junior college. I was an All-American there. I was one of the top 6 players in the United States in junior college. Matter of fact, we had another friend of mine who got recruited here at the same time, was a junior college All-American lineman also from Minnesota, Eric Maxson, great player. And he was third team. I was second team on one pole, and I was third team, and he was second team on the other pole. So we roomed together for a couple years, the 2 years we were here. A good guy, great player, a lot of ability. And it's more of honor and prestige, accolade than anything.
That's cool. What do you think about the USD football team? I guess recently or over the years, has it changed?
I'd say unless they beat SDSU every year, it's a losing year. That has always been, even when I played here and when I coached here, that's always been my rule of thumb. You lose to USD, you don't have a good year. You lose to SDSU, you just, that's the one team you don't want to lose to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, that's just it.
Has SDSU always been like that?
No.
Good?
They've had their ups and downs. They've just been consistent with consistent coaching. They've had good coaching with Steg, and he's been there a number of years, and that's just where we need to be, and we're getting there. Hopefully we can get consistent where we're 10, 11 wins every year, and that's where a football team wants to be.
Oh man, this is so interesting. I think it's interesting. Like, if you have like two teams, well, and because I always wondered what makes a team, like, how do they become champions? Why are they so good? Is it just the players? Is it coaching? Is it all of it? But like, what?
I think it's a little bit of everything, but it's more commitment out of the players.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be committed during year round, not just during this football season. I mean, there's off-season practices, off-season weightlifting, drills in the off-season. You're improving, getting better, your ability, getting that bigger, faster, stronger in the weight room, and doing your footwork, foot drills for position work, different things like that. But to me, it's the attitude and the commitment of the players who make the team. It's not just coaches. Coaches are a part of it. They're the ones calling the plays, but the players are the ones running the plays.
You always hear, like, or maybe sometimes people, like, for example, if someone loses, they'll always like blame the coach. Like, well, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do this?
It's never the coach's fault, believe me. The players may say that, but it's not the coach's fault. Very rarely. The coach will take the blame. A good coach will take the blame, take the heat off the players. But, the players are the ones on the field.
Would you ever you never thought about, I would want to become like the head coach for, especially like USD or anything like that? Or,
I thought about it when I was coaching, and then I just got to the point where the players and the players' parents got to be a little too much.
Really?
I mean, it's just, I just took it to that level where I said, I don't want to be moving around every couple of years, because that's when a good, an assistant coach, if you find a good head coach and you like working underneath them, it's a great gig. The players and the coach and the players' parents at some of the schools I was at thought they were NFL prospects right away.
Really?
And that's what kind of turned the table for me.
What would bother you about, like, the parents, if you're allowed to?
The parents would come up and say, "Why not? You're playing my son this month. He needs to play this position. He needs to do this."
Oh, it does happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens at this level too, I'm sure.
What? Okay.
That's every level. I mean, that's parents. That's parenting.
And then, as a coach, like, what's going through your mind? Like, I'm guessing you're not. What makes you want to put in a player and not put in a player?
Well, you're coaching to win. I mean, that's a job. That's your job. I mean, if you have a losing record, they're not going to hire you back. I mean, you're on a contract, year-to-year contract, or a 4-year contract. If you don't win, especially nowadays, you don't win and produce, you're out. So you're playing the best players. You're playing your best players who you see can win you the game.
So Man, so I'm guessing it's very tough.
It's
Like,
a business for coaches. It's not. This isn't fun and games. This is a business.
okay, it's not pee-wee, nothing like that. Like,
No,
it's your job.
it's your job, and that's what you're getting paid for. It's just like your job at USD and my job at USD right now. I'm getting paid to do, to handle the mail and incoming and outgoing mail and packages and do the best I can and find out what the lowest rates are and try to negotiate some lower rates with FedEx, UPS, and mail, things like that. And, that's my job. And that's what coaches, it's their job to produce and get players move up to the next level and win games.
Okay. What also got you into to that position at USD now?
That's that's a unique story. See, I was doing sales for a number of years. I moved down here from Huron. I was working up in Huron and met a really nice lady here, and we dated for 5-6 years. And I was coming down here almost every weekend. So I got a job down here. We got married, Lynn Myron. So she's a Vermillionite, and I moved back down here because I liked Vermillion in the first place, and I wanted to be down here where I knew some more people, and came back down, and I was not with the university at that time, but I was working at in a sales position, and one of my old professors and one of Lynn's friends were married, and Jack Powell, he was the mayor here in Vermillion.
Mm-hmm.
And every time he saw me, he'd always say, "What have you done? What have you given back to USD?" And I said, and he asked me this several times, and I said, "Well, I give money back, call for donations, I give season tickets, I go to the games, I do a lot of stuff." He just shakes his head, and I can just remember this every day, every time. "No, what have you given back to USD?" I never thought of it that way, and I just took me a couple years, and finally I realized, hey, I can give back to USD better by working at USD.
Interesting.
And that was Jack's emphasis. He was trying to push me into working at USD.
Why this push though for you? Like,
why did Jack push me?
yeah,
I think he knew I liked USD, and I had fond memories of USD and people at USD, and I'd be happy working there, and I truly am.
That's interesting. And then you don't regret it, right?
Oh no, not one iota. I love what I do, and I like the people I work with, and I get to meet basically everybody in all the departments. So.
And then, what do you think about Vermillion over the years? I'm still newish.
Vermillion's a town that grows on you. I come from a town in Illinois, a little bit bigger, but Vermillion's a type of town where you don't need to lock your doors, really. You don't have to worry about a lot of crime. It's a place where your kids can grow up and you can be happy here.
And then that's what I like when we came here. That's what surprised me at first. This is what surprised me. So my wife is from Mexico, I'm from Texas, and I say this every episode. What she was surprised is she said, "Hey, the windows don't have bars."
No.
And then what surprised me was the garages. They were like open, and some of them were like open like late, kind of like in the evening and night. And I kept thinking, I was like, should I go tell them, be like, "Hey, you guys left y'all's garages open by accident"? But no, it's
my first coaching job was in Yuma, Arizona, and I went from here to Yuma when I was done grad assistant here, and stayed with the head coach there, and he put me up for several months, and at nighttime he'd go around and lock all the doors and make sure everything was shut tight, and I'm just thinking, do we have to worry about that every night? I mean, it's like every night made the rounds. I mean, checking every door, checking the deadbolts and everything. And I'm going, this is Yuma, Arizona. I mean, but it's, I just don't have them. I've never had them worries in Vermillion.
Yeah. And then another thing you mentioned was like, especially raising a family, like it's great. Well, I think it's great. Like it's,
and you've got everything you can ask for here. You've got a college life. You've got the college experience. You've got college sports here. You've got a great public high school and grade school. You've got a private schools here, Catholic school, second to none. Good city. I mean, small city, but it's got everything you really want. You're 30 minutes from anything you really, really want.
mm-hmm.
So to me, this is it.
Now, one thing I want to ask you, since you're a local now.
Oh, I'm not a local.
Do you want to Taco Bell? Because I hear people saying, "Oh, I wish there was a Taco Bell," and I hear a Taco Bell rumor all the time.
Taco Bell?
Yeah, or they're saying, "Oh, I wish there was a Taco Bell." I always hear that, but do you know anything about it?
I've never heard of Taco Bell coming to town.
Would you want a Taco Bell or not? Or doesn't
I always thought something new. I mean, it's always good. More restaurants is better.
And then I noticed when we got here, I did complain, and my view has changed by a lot. Because at first, because I'm used to like having, well, I guess everything's really, I guess, kind of close. And here, I was like, man, like for some stuff we have to go to Sioux City or Sioux Falls, and I was like, man, I don't like driving. But that was 4 years ago. Now, I kind of enjoy it. I'm like, yeah, if we need something, like you said, we just go over there. There's a city over there. There's a city over here. There's another one. But then you come back, and then the town is nice.
To me, everything is walking distance in this town. When I was in college here, we used to walk from the dorms to come downtown, walk every place. I never had a car here in college. So it's like everything is still walking distance. This town is so small. It's just perfect.
And it's great for like, especially for work, like in the summer, me and my wife, we go on our bikes. And it's like, I think it's quicker if we go on our bikes than going in our truck. Because we gotta look for the parking. So I'm like, this is because we live like right next to Prentice Park. So like we're on our bike, it takes like a few minutes. I'm like, this is nice. The only thing I do complain, and it's not a Vermillion thing, I think it's a Midwest thing, is the winters. Because for me, the winters are still like.
You're from down south, though.
Yeah, the summers though I think they're great for me, but those winters, you guys are on another level.
The winters, I've seen worse winters. I mean, the winter the dome collapsed, where they had a fabric roof.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have a steel roof. We had a fabric roof back then, and it was held up by air. The roof was, and it snowed so much over the weekend that the roof caved in.
Oh, was that?
That was 83.
Was the season already over?
No, it was in the mid. Yeah, season was over. It was in.
Oh, okay.
In off season.
How long did it take for them to repair it?
Oh, several weeks. We had to. I remember our trainer, or not our trainer. It was our equipment manager, Jerry, and Dale Husby, who works at the city water plant now, and several of us got to take 22s and shoot holes in the roof so the snow would melt.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And that was kind of fun. And and they had to take a section of the roof away and repair it.
Okay. Now, before we end the show, I do want to get to know a little bit more about you. So, besides working at USD, what do you do? What do you do for fun, or any hobbies or anything like that?
Hobbies? I have 12 grandkids. One of them's always talking to me or doing stuff. I have one here in town, and the rest of them live out of town. So, FaceTime or talking to them, emailing them. One here in town, he's the biggest sports fanatic. I mean, I don't think he's missed a USD game in 3-4 years at football, basketball, and volleyball. And he's only 9 years old.
Oh,
so
snap!
And we collect cards, sports cards, and trading cards together, and we send them off and get them autographed by athletes. We probably got about 2,000, mainly football cards and stuff. Anywhere back from the 60s on through today.
Now, what other sports USD do you guys like going to watch?
Oh, he loves volleyball. There's a couple of the volleyball girls he's really gotten to know personally, and they know him. He loves the basketball, especially the girls' basketball. He likes watching that, and boys' basketball. Basically, I could tell him soccer's playing and he wants to go watch it. So he's a sports nut, like I was, but he just likes going and watching USD stuff.
Okay, I heard the volleyball team is real good. I haven't seen them.
I heard they're going to be really good this year.
I need to watch them because I've been to the football games. I've been to
They've been really good the last several years.
Yeah, and then the women's basketball, last year was the first time I went to it, and I was surprised. I never been to
a couple down years, but they've been really good. I mean, it's one of them things where that's where you want your program at when the people come into the games, when you win 18, 20 games or whatever, and you lose 10 games, or you're 20-10, and the fans think you didn't have a good year. I mean, it's like, I know people that we were 10-4 last year in football, and we didn't have a good year. We didn't beat SDSU.
Oh, like you.
To me, that's you got to beat SDSU. I mean, if you're 1-11, as long as that one wins against SDSU, that's all that counts.
That's fun. All right. So before we end, do you have any last words or any shout outs you want to give out?
No, I appreciate everybody. I mean, it's, this is a great town to live in, great school to work for. I'm excited for the season, both volleyball and football coming up. We're about 3 weeks away, so 29th, I've got it circled on my calendar already. So, we play Northern, but we got to see what we can do.
Sweet. All right. I want to thank you, Larry, for being on the show.
Thank you.